Thank you so much, all, and welcome to our panel. If the crowds from up there want to come down, you're welcome. Today, you'll be hearing about visionary ideas that work, about cutting-edge ways of advancing scientific research, and an experience of the metaverse that I think is unlike anything you've experienced before. I'm welcoming here on stage with me two distinguished social innovators. Gregg Treinish, you've come here all the way from Montana, the founder of Adventure Scientist, World Economic Forum Young Global Leader, and a GeoExplorer, and an Ashoka Fellow. And Zaid, he's a mixed reality catalyst at HoloLux, a winner of the prestigious Microsoft Most Valuable Professional Award that you got at the age of 19. You're now 22. And he is an Ashoka Young Changemaker. My own name is Konstanze Frischen. I'm a senior leader at Ashoka. I have the best job in the world. Can I just see where my clicker here is? Right here, because I want to show you some slides. Me and my colleague tasked with finding innovators like Gregg and Zaid. And you may, I think, know some Ashoka Fellows, or you have used their products and services, such as Wikipedia, for instance. You may remember Couchsurfing. Casey Fenton and Jimmy Wales are both Ashoka Fellows. When you send money with your mobile phone, you may not know that the pioneer of mobile payments is also an Ashoka Fellow from South Africa. He was actually trying to figure out a social issue, how to get poor people bankable. You may not know the social entrepreneur behind this idea, or you may not know this idea at all. This is a rat. Oh, sorry. It's moving here on the, there we go. It's moving delayed on the thing. Thank you, Uda. This is a rat, and it has a superior sense of smell, so it can sniff out landmines. And thanks to these little heroes, Mozambique was declared landmine-free a while ago. They've cleared millions of square miles across Asia and Africa. Behind this is an Ashoka Fellow. And the big part of the solution is that it allows communities literally to take the solutions to mining, to minefields into their own hands, rather than being dependent on international experts. So it's innovators like that who are in our network. But as I said, we're having two of them here. And so let's come to your work and what you're doing. And Gregg, I'm starting with you. And we are starting to show a video of your work. Let's see whether that works. There we go.
Because of Adventure Scientists, the entire world is now available to study. Adventure Scientists expands where we can go with the research.
Adventure Scientists was recruiting extremely capable people in the wilderness.
Going to places where other people generally don't go.
Giving us the ability to look at organisms in habitats that we had not been able to. Pretty much anything's available now.
Gregg, when I'm trying to explain to others what Adventure Scientist does, I usually use two slides. This is one. Every dot here signals a data set that indicates the microplastic pollution of our waters in the world. It's one of the most extensive data sets of microplastics that we have, and you can probably see that this would be prohibitively expensive if the research was carried out centrally by any one institution. But guess who contributed the data sets? It's been adventurers, outdoor lovers, out there in the wilderness. And the reason why that all happens is Adventure Scientists. So Gregg, tell us how it works.
Yeah, so it's based on the idea that there are tens of thousands of people who go around the world every day looking for adventure. They push their own limits. They're looking for new ways to engage with nature. But after years of exploration, people are really hungry for making a difference. They recognize the problems that we have, and rather than contributing to them through their travels, they're looking for easy ways to make a difference. So it's the opposite, if you will, of being an armchair conservationist, where you got to get out into the field, and people applying their labor to these issues has been incredibly valuable. So it's everything from your hardcore adventurers, people who are the greatest mountaineers of the world, who have collected the highest known plant life on Earth from Mount Everest for us up near Camp 2, which today fungi that were found symbiotically with the moss up at Camp 2 are being used to increase crop yields all over the world, to your day hikers, people who went out. One of the most meaningful samples from that microplastics data set for me was during the Paris terrorist attacks years ago. Somebody contributed a sample from the Seine River. So it's people who are out hiking on day hikes, it's people who are out on their hardcore adventures that have all come to look for easy ways to get involved. So we train them. Everybody gets certified on how to collect the data. And once they've gone through a pretty rigorous training, it takes anywhere from 1 to 4 or 5 hours, depending on the project. We'll send them out in the field with all the equipment that they need. So most people who come to us have no scientific background whatsoever, and we give them the full training that they need and then deploy them.
So it's basically enabling lay people to contribute to advanced scientific research projects. And there is one thing that you're working on many projects currently, but one global project that especially caught my attention, it's because I didn't know it existed. You're tracking orphaned oil and gas wells.
Yeah, that's right. So
tell us what that is.
Yeah, so this is an example of one of these wells. So in an area geography 1/3 the size of Germany, the state of Pennsylvania, there are an estimated 500,000 orphaned and idled oil and gas wells. So these were drilled in the late 1800s, all the way through the 1900s, and in many cases just up till recently. But the way that these wells were capped when they were no longer producing methane or no longer yielding what they were drilling for is often mattresses were stuffed down into these holes. So these are 3 different examples of 3 different kinds here. Sometimes they used to stick telephone poles down in these holes, which can go down 1,000 or more feet. So you can imagine that that doesn't really work to cap these wells very well. Even the ones that have been properly sealed with concrete are still cracked and leaking methane at just huge rates. So this is an unknown issue for the most part. Again, an estimated 500,000 of these just in Pennsylvania alone. This issue is pervasive across Europe, across North America, and really anywhere that there have been oil and gas wells drilled. And so what we're doing is going around looking for these through the forest. So we literally send people out on transects within eyesight of each other, and because we can provide the hundreds of people to go across an area, it suddenly is possible to actually walk across the forest in this way. And then using high precision GPS technology, we can pinpoint exactly where they are. And then what we're trying to do with this is figure out the different rates of methane, which is incredibly difficult to do. Right now, the sensors for these are $60,000 plus. So we have a group of engineers working on bringing the cost of these sensors way down so that we can get them in the hands of more and more volunteers and be able to prioritize which wells should be properly capped. Through the Infrastructure Act, there's an estimated amount in Pennsylvania. They should get about $40 million or so, which will allow the capping of 6,000 to 7,000 of these wells. So if we can get the highest emitters capped, that will reduce the emissions from these on a bigger rate.
Let me ask you, Gregg, how did you get the idea of founding Adventure Scientists?
Yeah, so I was traveling all around the world on my own expeditions. 2006 through 2008, I became the first, along with a friend, to trek the length of South America through the mountains, ran expeditions through National Geographic and others, and just consistently felt like I was really selfish for being out there and not making a difference with my time outside. Went and worked in wildlife biology and started tracking lynx and wolverines and grizzly bears, and I have absolutely no special skill set in the sciences. I'm an undergraduate degree in the sciences, and that's it. But quickly saw that people who love the outdoors, who have basic outdoor skills, my brothers will be sure to tell you that I have no athletic ability whatsoever, just a lot of persistence. And so the combination of people who care about these places and want to make a difference with the countless scientists that can truly benefit from a comprehensive, trained army of people who can collect data in a uniform manner dispersed around the globe is incredibly valuable. And again, we've used it for crop yields. We've used it for this microplastics project. We've used it and are using it today to study halophytes or salt-loving plants that will be used to grow crops across the Middle East. So we look for a partner who really has a need for a large-scale data set that they can't achieve on their own, design the project bespoke around them, and then figure out who we need to go and deploy.
Yeah. Let's look at one of your current biggest project, which is timber tracking. You're collecting, as you said, thousands of leaves, seeds, wood samples to create databases of the chemical and genetic signature of tree species. So 2 questions. Why are you doing this? And then can people here help and join in?
Yeah. So this timber tracking issue is one that I wasn't really aware of, but $150 billion a year are stolen out of forests each year. It's an astronomical number. It's 1 in 3 wood products that you buy internationally is likely illegally sourced. 1 in 3. So that is just a massive, massive issue. So the climate change aspects of that, the fact that we're deforesting at increasing rates every year is increasingly problematic. So new technology, DNA technology, makes it possible to pinpoint the origin of a wood product within 30 kilometers today. So this is our partners that have been developing this technology. Our job is to go out across the range of a tree species like big leaf maple or oak species, eastern white oak, Mongolian oak, examples are that. And what we do is we collect these really fine scale data sets so that you can take the genetics and isolate that piece of wood down to within 30 kilometers. So people navigate to these trees. We take a lot of metadata like diameter at breast height, which can be used for carbon rates stored in these trees as well. We drill a tree core, doesn't harm the tree. It's the size of a straw that comes out of the tree. And that goes to labs at the U.S. Forest Service, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and other labs as well, and allows them to run this analysis, this detailed analysis, which has been used so far to prosecute 2 timber cases in the United States and can be used to encourage legal harvesting as well. So the goal here would be in the future to have every builder around the world test a piece of wood before they're going to actually use it in a house. And as the cost of genetic testing comes lower and lower, there'll be an incredible opportunity to verify the origin of that wood and thereby the legality.
Thank you so much. So you can here on your website register as a scientist, as an adventurer, and dig in.
Yeah, so these are images from our brand new platform. This is the first stage I've shared this on. So this is platform.adventurescientist.org, and you can go there, register your upcoming expeditions, your upcoming travels. You, again, don't need to be a hardcore adventurer to use this, so you can even just register where you're located. Scientists are putting in their projects into here, and then using a map-based system, you'll be able to see exactly where people need data from and where a bunch of people are going, where others are going around the world. So you can register your own expeditions on here. It's totally free to participate, and we look forward to having you on there.
Thank you so much, Gregg. I'm glad to have you here. And now let's transition to Zaid. Zaid, I'm so happy you're here. You're probably one of the youngest speakers at DLD today. You're 22 now. And you're working on something in the metaverse in a way that captured my imagination more than anything I've heard before. That is, you're reconstructing the cultural heritage of your native country, Syria, so people can experience it. And perhaps here, you will tell us a little bit about these 2 pictures here.
Sure. So thanks at the beginning, for the opportunity for having me here at DLD. I'm Zaim. I'm originally from Syria. And the project that I'm driving is using mixed reality to bring cultural heritage back to life. So we see here the triumphal arch of Palmyra. Unfortunately, it got completely destroyed in 2016. Maybe you can show the second picture. And with mixed reality for cultural heritage, we want to create hope to bring ancient cities like Palmyra back to life.
And Zaid, let me interrupt you here for a second because it's very important. Your biographical background, you had to flee Syria at the age of, in 2013, right? At the age of 12
exactly.
to Germany.
I came to Germany in 2013 due to the war in Syria. And I had basically at the beginning no clue what really hands-on technology is. And I visited one of Ashoka's fellow ready school that enabled me to get closer into the IT field through its connections, and I managed then through that getting in this field of mixed reality, and started giving workshops, talks around the topic, and gladly recently being recognized as an MVP by Microsoft and a Ashoka Young.
And how did this idea came about reconstructing Palmyra?
Exactly. So in 2007, I visited as a child Palmyra, so I have a personal connection to the ancient city, seeing the monuments, getting to know the people and the stories behind the ancient city. This is something I brought with me here to Germany, and motivated me then to make something good to the community, and bringing partially hope to the community to bring Palmyra back to life.
So let's experience what it looks like. You're going to demonstrate for us.
Sure. Maybe we can you maybe switch to the second picture? Exactly. So a brief description here is basically, we see here the triumphal arch of Palmyra, and somebody is experiencing it directly in the ancient city. So here I have the HoloLens with me, the HoloLens 2, the mixed reality device by Microsoft. Mixed reality means to integrate digital content into the physical world. So imagine yourself going to Palmyra. We can integrate this monument in the ancient site. So I'm wearing now the HoloLens, and hopefully turning it on. The cool part is that we did not test the demo today, so really hoping together that we can show a successful live demo. And exactly, so let's, we are switching now to the view. Hopefully, we are live. Amazing. Awesome. So, exactly. So on the one hand, you see yourself as an audience. So with mixed reality, I can see the real environment and start integrating digital content. So here, I'm really not a magician or something. I have nothing attached. So exactly. Some people describe me as a flight attendant when demonstrating mixed reality, but exactly. So I will choose now the application. Palmyra. Exactly. And I have here a QR code to start the experience from. Loading. And exactly, the HoloLens has here some no, just a second. Okay. So I need to scan now the QR code.
Please detect QR code for starting experience.
Exactly. So I needed, So we see here like a button panel. We can create a 3D representation of the ancient city and its monument. So here we have the Temple of Baal, a very important sculpture called the Beauty of Palmyra, the Temple of Baal Shamin. No? And where is the Ark? And the Ark of Triumph. I'll grab the Ark. And now let's simulate together as if we are going to inside of the monument. So here there are different interaction possibilities, for example. We have a timeline that we can interact with and see the development of the monument from its construction till its destruction in 2016. Unfortunately, in reality, we can't go back in time, but using technology, we can travel back and experience these monuments. The nice part here is I can scale the arc, and imagine together we are going inside of it. And now, let's view it and enjoy the beauty and the details and the ornaments. Here, live in Munich at DLD, we brought together the Arc of Triumph of Palmyra. We can rescale it, view it from different perspectives, and bring it back to the map. I have, how long do we have? 2 minutes. I have here the Temple of Baal Shamin. It's also completely destroyed. Opa-da. And we can have also another interaction possibility here. We can scale it, and we can see before and after by interacting, for example, simulating the destruction again to give the viewer a feeling how bad destroying ancient monuments is. And here, one of the important factors is to involve the user, the viewer, into the experience, together bringing it back to life, creating hope in the viewer of the experience. So here, we can gamify, repuzzle the ancient monument. After that's done, we can rebuild it. I completely admit, unfortunately, the UX, UI is still not the perfect one, but on the way. And here, the crazy part is I created a 3D model out of myself. So this is my metaverse avatar. And the idea of this is basically to integrate people from Palmyra who can share with us their stories that we cannot basically learn from any book or experience, because when you have a chat from a person who experienced the city, he has unique experiences that he can share when he was visiting this particular monument. And now we can bring it back to the map, and that's it for the live demo.
Thank you so much, Zaid. It's just awesome to see. Let me wrap this panel up with asking you a question about the future. Like, when you project the use of, the spatial internet, the interconnected world, like, what gives you hope? What is what you're seeing?
The most thing that I'm basically hoping for is waiting until the technology gets more consumer-based. So. Exactly. So this is one of the most important factors to get the experiences, basically mixed reality and the metaverse running for consumers. So this is one of the important factors. And together, hopefully, we can create a better world using such technologies.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And give a round of applause to Gregg and Zaid.